This is the sequel and the third. Blah, blah, blah. Hello everybody, my name is Kelsey and we're about to get very, very nerdy with all the books that this household has acquired in December. Have you noticed that, like, when I've bought all the books for myself that month, I say bought, but when I was gifted something that month, it becomes acquired? Interesting facts about Kelsey. Anyway, so today we're going to be going over all the books that, like I said, we picked up in the month of December. So I'm actually kind of separating this haul into 3 separate parts because it was Christmas in December, so we have many a Christmas book to show you. So we'll go over the books that I picked up myself, or bought myself, kind of, this month, and then we'll go into Christmas presents. So we'll go over the books that Chris bought, or not bought, Chris was gifted, and then the ones that I was gifted. So that's kind of the structure. I feel like you know what hauls look like now. Let's get into it. So the first one I'm actually going to do together, and technically the first one I got in November, but it was the very end of November, and I didn't feel like adding it into that haul, so we're gonna do it here, and that is Waking Gods and Only Human by Sylvain Neuvel. This is the sequel and the finale in the Themis Files series. I read Sleeping Gods, which was the first one, last year, and so I got my hands on these two because I want to finish out the series this year. These are both actually not gifted, but like I have this reward system at work where if we reach certain goals, my boss buys me books, and these were both, we reached a goal at the end of November and at the beginning of December, so I bought these two. I have the entire series now. I'm very excited about this. These look like so vibrant compared to this one. Like, this is a vibrant color, but I don't know, it's just, these feel like such vibrant colors. But this series is an adult sci-fi series that is told all in interview style. So it's all transcripted throughout this entire book, or this entire series. And it follows this team who is researching these metal things. What starts off the entire research process is our main researcher, when she was younger, fell into a metal hand, and so they're just trying to figure out what's going on. I loved the first one. There is a huge plot twist cliffhanger at the end of it. I need answers, so this is the sequel and the third one that I can finish the series out with, and I am very excited. The next one I picked up is actually a fancy pre-order that I did because it is part of a series, and it's the last addition to the series, and all the other books that I have in the series are signed, and I wanted a special edition that was signed. So I did. It's also like the most beautiful book that I own, and that is How the King of Elfame Learned to Hate Stories by Holly Black. This is like the 3.5 in the Folk in the Air series, the series that starts off with The Cruel Prince. This is a very small book, but it is a collection of kind of short stories, all from Carden's point of view, who is the prince in this series. And these all take place, like I said, from his point of view, but they span from before the series starts, specific moments within the series that we see from his point of view, and things that happen after the series is over. So definitely want to continue, or like read the trilogy before you get into this one. But this book, I'll have to do like overlays of this because it's stunning. We have this incredibly gorgeous cover, but if you take out, like, the end pages are this fancy gold as well. The naked hardback underneath has this gold embossed title on it, and then if you flip through the book itself is gorgeous. Like, the illustrations within this, I think they tried to make it look like a children's fairy tale book, and they freaking succeeded. Like, the title page is just stunning. Everything about this book is stunning, but I was able to get a signed personalized copy so that I could match the rest of the series that I got in special Allocrite editions that were all signed by the author. I am ecstatic about this because I love this series so much. I'm really excited to see some things from Carden's point of view because we don't see anything kind of from his mind throughout this entire series. And this book is stunning. I can't get over how pretty it is. I just want to stare at it for hours. So, very excited about this. Ooh, It's so pretty. It's just so pretty. The next one is the Christmas book that I picked up, because I actually read 2 Christmas books this month, which you would have seen in my wrap-up. And that is Royal Holiday by Jasmine Guillory. This is basically following our main character Vivian, whose daughter gets hired by a duchess in England to dress her. She's a fashionista designer, maybe is the best way to describe it. She's a stylist, I think is maybe a better word. But her daughter's a stylist. She goes over to England and asks her mom, our main character Vivian, to come with her. So Vivian decides to take a couple of weeks off work. She hasn't done that maybe ever. Take some time for herself and relax while her daughter is working. But she happens to run into the Queen's private secretary, who happens to give her a tour of the grounds where they are living, and a flirtatious something sparks between the two of them. But it's a great holiday romance, but it was great. I loved it. Royal romances around the holidays. Is there anything better? And the last 2 books I'm going to do together, those are the last two that I actually bought myself before we get into the gifts, and that is volume 1 and 2 of Emma. This drives me crazy. I bought it used because these are crazy expensive if you buy them new. And so obviously this used to be a library book. Who does that? That's just mean. So I got volumes 1 and 2. You would have seen 1 already. It is on my TBR for January. I need this entire series now. That's all I'm gonna say. Stay tuned for thoughts. But I got the first one just to give it a try and immediately bought the second one. I think there are 9. We will be owning all of them at some point. This is a manga that is set in kind of the Victorian Regency England era. I think more Regency England than Victorian England. And it follows our main character Emma, who is a maid in this house. And the woman that she works for was a governess to this gentleman who happens to come visit her and finds Emma very appealing. And there's possibility of relationship between a gentleman and a maid, but because there's the whole like class barrier between them because Regency England. So I'm excited to continue. This sounds amazing. I've been looking for mangas that are for me because I haven't had a whole lot of luck recently, but this is set in a time period that I love. So fingers crossed. I'm excited to continue collecting that series because I will. I for sure will. So the next little chunk we'll do are the ones that Chris, my husband, actually acquired as far as gifts for Christmas. The first one actually is one that I bought him, and that is Officer Clemens. Oh, I'm not going to get that name right. Francis? By Dr. Francis C. Clemens? Is that how you would say that? It's got the little fancy thing. I don't know. But it follows this man right here who played Officer Clemens on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. He was the first, I want to say, yeah, he was the first African-American actor to have a recurring role on a children's television program. And my husband loves Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. He loves Mr. Rogers. He was like one of his childhood heroes, probably one of his heroes today. And I heard about this book and thought it sounded fascinating and one that he would really want to learn about, especially someone who worked alongside Mr. Rogers very, very closely, and especially someone who broke a lot of barriers. So I picked this one up for him. Excited to see what he's going to think about that. I don't even know where to put these. The next one, I swear I didn't do this on purpose. Yeah, this is the last one that I actually bought him. The rest are from his family. And that is this box set collection of the Great Mouse Detective Mastermind collection, which was written by Evie Titus and Cindy Hapka. There are 8 books in this collection. One of my husband's favorite movies growing up was The Great Mouse Detective, which is kind of loosely based on Sherlock Holmes. I didn't actually know that these books existed until I stumbled upon them on Amazon, I want to say. And he didn't know that they existed either. So I picked them up because he's a huge fan of middle grade and kids books, and I thought this would be something up his alley. So we've got the first one, which is Basil of Baker Street. Then we've got Basil and the Cave of Cats. We have Basil in Mexico. We've got Basil and the Wild West. These are adorable, by the way. Then we have Basil and the Lost Colony. And then, now I'm running out of hands. Basil and the Big Cheese Cook-Off. Okay, alright. Basil and the Royal Dare, and Basil and the Library Ghost. But isn't it just the cutest thing? I don't know. I hope he loves these. These sound really good. The next book is one that actually my father gave Chris, and that is Our Time Is Now by Stacey Abrams. This is a memoir by the lovely Stacey Abrams. We love Stacey Abrams in this house. She is a hero. And my dad also loves Stacey Abrams, so the fact that he gave this to Chris just feels appropriate. Yeah, it's a memoir. I feel like I don't need to say much more. I want to read this book as well. Might be borrowing that at some point. The next one, oh gosh, this is the heaviest book ever, is one that my mom actually bought him, and that is this chunk, by the way. It's The Knitter's Book of Knowledge by Debbie Bliss. This is a gigantic book, like I said, of just fun little things for, like, the beginners of knitting. Chris knits a lot. He loves knitting. It's very heavy, by the way, but that's one that we also have now acquired. The next one is actually one that his mom got him, who texted me to make sure we didn't buy him the same book. That is The Answer Is by Alex Trebek, Reflections on My Life. This is a memoir by Alex Trebek. Chris loves Alex Trebek. Chris grew up with Jeopardy. He loves Jeopardy. He loves this man. So to get his kind of memoir is also very appropriate. So it's real cute though. It's got like, I don't even know. Like, this is actually really fascinating. I don't know how to explain to you how this is, like, formatted, but, like, there's a bunch of little things that say who is, and then, like, all these different things about his life, and there's pictures scattered throughout this as well. This is a very interestingly formatted book. I might have to read that at some point. Basically, Chris got these gifts, but I will also be reading them. And the last book that Chris got this month is actually this memoir by Michael J. Fox called No Time Like the Future, An Optimist Considers Mortality. We love the Back to the Future in this house. He got this from an aunt, I think. Sounds cool. Chris likes memoirs. I don't know if you noticed that by everything that I just said. So, those are the books that Chris got. Let's go into the ones that I actually acquired. There are not nearly as many. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this one first, which actually my best friend Lauren gave me for Christmas, and it is this used copy of the 6th Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. This is a UK edition that I've never seen before, she's never seen before, and she found it in like a bargain bookshop, so yay, no money went to, you know, this human. But I've never seen this cover before, and it's fascinating. I also love that if you look here, Dumbledore kind of looks like he's a Picasso painting. Not gonna lie. But I've been collecting fun UK books of like UK covers of this series, because I love this series. And then, you know, things happened, and we will not dwell on it. But she found this really cool edition of a UK cover that, like, I've never seen before. The next one is actually one that Chris's mother got and had already read, so she gifted it to me. I'm okay with this. And that is My Not So Perfect Life by Sophie Kinsella. This is the author of the Shopaholic series. There's a sticker on here. Goodbye. I don't really remember what this book's about, so please ignore the fact that I'm reading this. So this follows our main character, Katie, who doesn't feel like her life is that great. She's comparing it to her boss, who has the life that she wants. She's like gone down the Instagram spiral of just watching everyone's perfect lives, and then just as things start to look up, she gets fired. What she decides to do is go back to her family farm and kind of help them set up their vacation business, is what it says in here. So I assume it's going to be very simple, similar to like an Airbnb. And then her boss shows up, the one that just fired her. And I feel like there's going to be sparks there. This sounds like a rom-com movie in a book. I am excited. The next one is one that my husband picked up because NPR was talking about it. And his words were, "Now you can talk about a book and I'll actually understand what's happening." Thank you. And that is Intercepted by Alexa Martin. This follows a girl who I think dates an NFL star. And it sounds like it's going to be super dramatic. It's going to be very cliquey. So, like, I feel like this is going to be like high school, but for adults, where all of the NFL wives get together, and because she's only dating him, I don't know. I feel like there's going to be backstabbing. There's going to be drama. I'm excited. It's about football, which is why Chris picked it up, because sports. It sounds like a fun rom-com-ish story, but with lots of gossipy backstabbing drama. Sounds great. I'm excited. The next book is another one from my husband. I'm lucky. And that is this beautiful book called The Best of Miranda by Miranda Hart. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the UK show Miranda. It's got three seasons. It is glorious, and I love every second of it. I've rewatched this series so many times. Like, this might be my favorite TV show. It's a bold claim, but it's up there. But this is just a book that Miranda Hart, the creator and star in that show, has put together, and it's quite literally scripts from her favorite episodes where she's actually, like, copied in the notes she's written in it, and this sounds great. And then, like, she explains, everything about this makes me incredibly happy. I love this series. I love Miranda Hart. I think she's hilarious. I think she is very underrated as a comedic actress, and I'm excited to dive into this at some point. This is definitely like a coffee table book where, like, you don't just dive in and read it from beginning to end. This is one that you, like, jump in and out of whenever you feel like. But I love it. I love it. And the last, oh gosh, this is heavy. The last books that I am going to show you are a trilogy, but they are a graphic novel trilogy. And I've never heard of this before, and now I see it everywhere, and I love it. And that is this collection of graphic novels called March. And it is by, I think it's actually by Andrew Aiden and Nate Powell, but it's the life of John Lewis. And this sounds just incredible. Can I get this out of the slip face? That's the question. There we go. It's these 3 graphic novels. So we've got the first one right here, the second one here, and the third one here. And I think they just tell the story of John Lewis, but he's told it to these other people who have put it together and illustrated it. And I love this so much. I love John Lewis. John Lewis was my representative when I was living in Atlanta, and he's just like a big part. Like, he even visited my elementary school. Or not elementary school. Yeah, no, middle school. He visited my middle school, and I just have very vivid memories of him being there. And I'm really interested to see what these are like and give these books a try. These sound fascinating, and I cannot wait to dive in at some point. So, more graphic novels that I haven't read yet, which is great. So it's not just a specific March, it's all of his life. Like, the first one, it says the first book is his youth mostly, and up to him meeting Martin Luther King for the first time, and each book just grows on that, and this is amazing. I'm so excited to dive into this at some point. I will tell you, these are new, so these smell very strongly of, like, new plastic. Is that? They're strong is what I'm saying, but, like, I'm excited to dive into this at some point, especially because, like, it's very rare for Chris to have heard about books or graphic novels that I have never heard about before. So he found this and told my dad, and my dad picked it up for me. So thank you, Chris and Father. So, yeah. Oh, I'm excited. So that's it. Those are all of the books that we acquired in December. I'll be honest, it's just going to continue in January and February because there were deals and a lot of pre-orders. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please let me know down below if there's a book that you acquired for Christmas, if you celebrate Christmas, or another holiday, or you just acquired in December, or the beginning of January, whatever, a fun book that you just picked up. Would love to know what that is. But thank you guys so much for watching, and if you did like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and subscribe down below if you want to be part of this awesome growing family. I've also got all my social media down there, as well as every book I've mentioned. If you are interested in any of those, the links will be down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!